Ladies and gentlemen, and welcome back into another edition of Key Time Sports. It's Key Time coming back to talk about the Los Angeles Clippers and where I see their season ending up and will they make the playoffs. Now, first off, I'm going to get into their roster, here are all the players that are on their roster, starting with Nicholas Batum, Marjan Beauchamp, Bog Bogdanovich, Kobe Brown, Cam Christie, Amir Coffey, Chris Dunn, Tyron Trenton Flowers, Kai Jones, James Harden, Derrick Jones Jr., Kawhi Leonard, Jordan Miller, Patty Mills, Norman Powell, Ben Simmons, and Ivica Zubac. So now, with all of these players, and now currently the Clippers are 29 and 23. They are sixth in the West. When it comes to these players, we see that the Clippers, they are an average team. That the head coach is Tyronn Lue, and we can see when it comes to their roster when it comes their leading scorer, and I was surprised when I heard this. Their leading scorer is Norman Powell. Norman Powell. He is the guy. He is not even, well, he is a starter, but he's kind of like third. He's third in the starting lineup. Your top two guys realistically should be James Harden and Kawhi Leonard, but we know Kawhi Leonard, he hasn't been playing that much throughout this season. We know that. So we see Norman Powell at 24 points per game. We see James Harden at 21.3. We see Kawhi Leonard at 15.7. Then Avake Zubac, he is at 15.4. Derrick Jones Jr., 10.5. Amir Coffey, 10.3 points. Kevin Porter Jr., 9.3 points. Bones Highland, 9.3. Kevin Porter Jr., 9.3. Bones Highland, 7.2. Terrence Mann, 6 points. Chris Dunn, 5 points. Jordan Miller, 4.7 points. Mo Bamba, 4.6 points. Trenton Flowers, 4.5 points. Drew Eubanks, 3.3. Nicholas Batum, also 3.3. Marjan Beauchamp, 3 points. Kobe Brown, 2.9 points. Kai Jones, 2.2 points. Cam Christie, 1.2 points. And Patty Mills, zero point 0.0 points. And those are the season averages up to this point for all Clipper players. So now we know that the Clippers, they are just an average team at the end of the day. They really are. You can see it when you look at all of the players on this, all of the players in the lineup. You can see it in the standings. You can see it in the standings. And you see where right now in the Western Conference, the Los Angeles Clippers are sixth right now in the Western Conference, but pretty soon, Minnesota, if they keep going on this winning streak, Clippers will be seventh and they will be in that play in tournament as of right now. When it comes to the Clippers, what I see a team that maybe can make it to the playoffs, first or second round. But outside of that, I don't see much that's happening. Because when you go to their roster, and I'm gonna go right back to their roster, Kawhi Leonard, I mean, he's not always 100%. He's really not. Kawhi Leonard's not always 100%. James Harden, he's not always there on a nightly basis. And what I mean by there on a nightly basis, he is not going to have those kind of games that he had in Houston where he can make those last second shots every game. James Harden is not able to do that now. In this point in his career, he's not able to do that. Then you have Norman Powell. Norman Powell, he has been a career bench player because he was a career bench player with the Toronto Raptors when Kyle Lowry and DeMar DeRozan was there. So he has been a career bench. He has been a career bench player. Now he is in the starting lineup and he's starting to showcase his scoring and what he can do when he's on the floor. So the Clippers, like I said, I'm not going to get into them. I'm not going to get and cover them too much longer because it's not really much more that I need to cover with this team. But when I see this team and I see where, I'm going to show you their schedule. Their schedule coming up now. Their schedule coming up now. Tonight they have Memphis. Possibly could lose that game. Utah, I could see them winning that game. Then they have Milwaukee, Indiana, Detroit, Chicago. They have Los Angeles twice in 5 days. So one thing I can see trouble that the Clippers have, they don't have too many. They don't have too many big men that can protect the rim, and that is what is going to hurt them on down the line. Now, if they do make it to the playoffs or make it into the play-in tournament, whatever, it'll be good for the Clippers to make the play-in tournament. But I don't see them going. I don't see them going far in the playoffs. First round exit, or they maybe lose in the second round. But that's all I see. And when you see their remaining schedule, like I have it up here right now, I could see them losing about maybe 8, 9 games. Cause I mean, you're playing Cleveland, then you have to play Dallas twice. Well, Dallas, since they lost Anthony Davis, Dallas season might be going up in smoke already. Might be them going up in the smoke. You have Memphis tonight, and then you have Memphis on March 21st. Then you have Oklahoma City. Now Oklahoma City, they are the best team in the West right now. Clippers, you're gonna have trouble with Oklahoma City. Clippers, you're gonna have trouble with Cleveland. You're gonna have trouble. Oh, you obviously gonna have trouble with Houston because Houston, they are one of those young, up and coming bunches. Sacramento, I don't know what Sacramento done ran into, but 3 years ago, seemed like Sacramento was gonna do some things and be one of those top contenders coming out of the West for years to come. And then all of a sudden, it just seems like that they can't do anything anymore. So the Clippers have been the Clippers. They have never won a championship ever. And I'm gonna tell you that I'm gonna say this, and then I'm going to finish off this show with a couple of. I'm gonna say this, and then finish off the show with a couple of historical stats. Now the Clippers over the past 10 years, the Clippers have been all hype. They have been in the playoffs, and let me tell you, twice in the last 10 years, they have lost playoff series after leading 3-1 twice in those playoff series. Now I'm going to get to my final part of this show, and that is the Clippers. When it comes to their history, franchise history, they were created back in 1980. Clippers have never won a championship ever. 32 years. 32 years they were the butt of all jokes of the NBA. And in the last 25 years, you can count how many times that they've gotten out of the second round on just one hand. 4 times they've gotten out of the first round. 2 times they've made it all the way, they've made it to the second round. But they have never hosted the Western Conference Finals. They've never been to the Western Conference Finals. When they had Doc Rivers, they got to the second round. They had a chance at making the Western Conference Finals, but they did not, because there was another team that beat them. And then 5 years ago, they lost a 3-1 lead. This was during the pandemic, during the NBA bubble. They lost a 3-1 lead to, if I'm not mistaken, the Dallas Mavericks. If I'm not mistaken, they lost a 3-1 lead to them, and pretty soon the bottom fell out the barrel when it come to Doc Rivers with the LA Clippers. Now, the Clippers, like I've said, they have just been a team full of hype. But are the Clippers cursed? We don't know if the Clippers are cursed or not. But it's just been the same thing with the Clippers when it comes to having teams, contending teams on a year in, year out basis, where you get unexpectedly knocked out of the playoffs before you are supposed to before you are supposed to make it to the conference finals or the NBA finals, or wherever we all project the Clippers at before the start of the season. It seems like they get knocked out before that particular round or that particular time of the season starts. So I don't see the Clippers going very far. All you Clippers fans out there, you might agree with me, and some of you might not agree with me. But at the end of the day, this is all facts that I am telling you. This is no biased opinion. These are all facts. I gave you historical facts, and I even showed you the current look and state of what the team looks like. So with that, that is my remaining season outlook for the 2024-2025 Los Angeles Clippers. Please like, comment, share, subscribe. Click the notification bell to get notified of all of my reaction videos, shows, and other content. Please like, share, and follow on Instagram, Key City Sports on Instagram. We are now on Instagram. And remember, one last thing, the key is always on time.